What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and check out the as you check out the content. Excuse me. All right, so I want to make a quick video. It probably won't be too long, but I basically want to talk about the Indiana Fever and this season right here, right? Um, and a lot of people are thinking that this season right here for the Indiana Fever is almost like a championship or bust. And the reason why a lot of people feel like that is because of the season. Number one, the season that they had last year, right? Especially going into the playoff run. When you saw what the Fever was able to accomplish last year in the playoffs, even without Caitlin Clark, I thought the Fever performed very well. They showed that they had versatility, and then so when you add Caitlin Clark to that, the expectations just go even higher. So now basically it's all about the coach, right? And running the team the right way and not being able to and really not getting in your own way. Like for instance, a lot of people thought that in the draft, the Fever should have and I agree, I think they should have really drafted a big to help Aaliyah Boston down on the low post, right? Now, don't get me wrong. She looked good in the playoffs, and she really held her own against Asia Wilson and the other big girls that she saw, throughout the season. But I was impressed with what I saw out of Aaliyah Boston going up against Asia. Both of them are from South Carolina, and both of these low post players are very, very good, right? I mean, what can you say about Asia Wilson, right? In my opinion, I think she's the best player in the league. I think she's the best player in the league. But with that being said, Aaliyah Boston held her own. I think that at the guard position, the Fever are very strong, man. They have Caitlin Clark. Then you got Mitchell, who can play the guard position. I think that they stacked at the guard position, and then when they go out and get Raven Johnson, who I like. Raven is also from South is from South Carolina. I like Raven, right? She's tough, um, tough defender, and she can score. So I like that. But is that what the team really needed? That's what a lot of people are asking. And when you make these decisions to go out and get a position that you're already really good at, and you fortify that even more. Some people don't really understand like the strategy and the plans behind that. So is it a situation where the Indiana Fever are going to probably be their own worst enemies, like get in their own way, and people want to see the team really basically run through Caitlin Clark. She's healthy this year, she's ready to go. She looked good in the preseason. And you could tell that that like everybody on this team is really looking forward to getting this thing started. I think they played, what was this team called? Nigeria, right? So they played Nigeria, looked really good against them, but people are really just ready, like I said, for them to get their season start. Hopefully, now as far as let me speak about this because this has been like some controversy. Like, should you play Caitlin Clark on the ball or off the ball, right? And somebody asked me that probably a couple shows ago. I did a live show, I think it was last week, and they said, you know, should you play her on the ball or off the ball? Now, because Caitlin Clark she's the kind of guard she can set people up, and hit the man. She's very good at passing, but also she can do something that some natural point guards can't do. Like she can create her own basket, and she can break you down and score like that, right? And I think what some teams are going to do is going to try to get Caitlin Clark to wear herself down. So in the fourth quarter, so she may not be as effective, right? So true, you can run her, run your offense through Caitlin Clark, and you can play her on the ball all game long. But you have to take into consideration in a close game, like will she have enough in the tank to to be able to get your team over the hump. And that's what you got to consider. So sometimes I think it will be wise to take her off the ball and give the opponents a different look. Don't allow the defense to dictate, you know, what you do or how you play Caitlin Clark. And so that's the thing. To me, it don't really matter if she plays off the ball or if she play point guard, because she can be very effective from either position. But you can't allow it, like I said, the opposition just to run her down and be, at the end of the game, she don't have fresh legs because she's been trying to break a full court press for the whole game, getting beat up the whole game. You know, you want to have something in the tank. So that's something that's Stephanie White really need to think about and consider. But other than that, I think this team is they're well balanced. I like them in the low post. They have enough in the half court set where they can compete with anybody in the half court set. Like I said, they got a solid low post game. They got the outside shooting 3-pointers with Caitlin Clark. They have a slasher and Kelsey Mitchell, so they can attack on so many different levels. And I think this is why, like, the Fever fan base is really excited about this year. Basically, I'm thinking that if they the only way they can hurt themselves or not make it is if they hurt themselves, right? Because they can get out on a break and they can also do it in the half court. So the thing is, people want to see, like, well, how is Stephanie White, which I'm not down on Stephanie White, right? But I just hope that, and I think she will, I hope that she don't do anything or make any decisions, like I said, that's going to get in the team way. Last year, I thought she did a really good job of coaching without Caitlin Clark and getting those young ladies to the, getting them into the playoffs, and they made a good showing in the playoffs. So this year, it's just really basically about building on what they had going on last year. I still wish they had got another big to help Aaliyah Boston. Um, but I don't know. Maybe Aaliyah just want that work like that. You know what I mean? She just want to be out there like that. But Aaliyah too is somebody who you don't want to wear down. So you don't want to wear her down, and then you want her legs to be fresh so she can hit baskets or she can do what she need to do to help the team get over the hump too. So the question is, like I said, is this year for them, the Indiana Fever, is this a championship or bust season for them? And I don't know. I think that the expectations are high and rightfully so because of all the talent you have on the team. Number one, Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell. Just talent. They just got talent all the way down the line, right? So they got the talent. What about the versatility? Look at versatility. You got Leah Boston in the low post. Showed up very well last year in the playoffs against Asia Wilson, and like I said, throughout the season, she looked good against the other bigs that she was facing. You know what I mean? So that's good in the low post. Then you got the outside shooting and the penetration with Caitlin Clark, right? So she can set people. And they just balance. Then you got Kelsey Mitchell who can score. This team gonna be hard to stop. They are really gonna be hard to stop. So I think expectations should be high for them because of the amount of talent that they have, how far they were, how far they went last year. And so, yeah, the expectations should be high. I think it's really up to the individual fan though. Like if they don't make it to the championship, is it a bust? I think they'll be very disappointed. I want to see how it play out. I think they look good last year in the playoffs, and I think they'll look even better this year. Especially, this is their third year together with their big three with Mitchell, Clark, and Boston, right? So this is their third year together, and so I'm looking for big things from them for this year. So that's my take on it. But leave a message, a comment, and let me know, what do you think about, is this a championship or bust? And so, and one more thing before I get out of here, I almost forgot. I'm doing we're having a trivia contest, right? Well, a trivia show. And we're looking for contestants to compete on this sports trivia, right? And so you see behind me, you see this tic-tac-toe board. How the trivia, how it works is you have to answer 3 questions. Well, not really 3 questions, but you got to get 3 in a row. You got to get the X's or the O's. You know how to play tic-tac-toe, right? You get 3 in a row trivia questions right. Um, then you'll win a prize, or it could be merchandise or it could be cash. And so you see this on the screen. You see the email address. If you're interested, just use this email address. Let me know. You know what I mean. Just write trivia contestant. I'll reach out to you, and we'll just set up a time where you can come in, or I'm not really come in, but you can cam up and answer the trivia questions, test your sports knowledge. You get $50 just for being a contestant. So you get $50 for being a contestant. And then if you're able to beat me in a game of tic-tac-toe by answering the trivia questions and getting 3 in a row, then you get another $50 and some merch, right? So it's a win-win situation for you all the way around. Just use this email address, urbanplatformfashion@gmail.com, and we're going to set you up to be a contestant on the show. So with that being said, man, y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.